What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Andrew Jolly. I love watching and talking about movies, and today I wanted to talk about Saw X. I was able to see Saw X the other day, and I think it's safe to say that I was pretty impressed. So Saw X is the 10th Saw movie starring Tobin Bell as John Kramer. This movie is supposed to take place in between Saw 1 and Saw 2, so it's kind of a prequel, but also I think it's more of a sequel, kind of like a Saw 1.5. Anyway, the movie follows John as he finds out about this amazing procedure that can cure his cancer and save his life. However, the whole thing is a lie and he just gets scammed out of all of his money. So that kind of sucks, but they did just scam Jigsaw, so here we go. Now, this movie really was not what I was expecting. It's a little different than the other Saw movies in the fact that it follows John instead of detectives trying to find him and stop his games. It's really cool to see his side of things. You can really see John's point of view and his side, and it's something that I think the Saw movie should have done a long time ago. It's really cool, I think, how this movie is set up. And unlike the other Saw movies, this is definitely a bit more of a character film for John Kramer. Instead of just having the tapes there explaining everything, you have John there with the tapes kind of walking everyone through, giving them a pep talk, wanting to see the choices they make, wanting to see them pass or fail, but more than anything, wanting to see them get tortured. And that is what we all want to see in a Saw movie, is the traps, right? And so that brings up the question of how were the traps in this movie? And for me personally, I thought that they were fun. You know, they were Saw fun. There are a few traps that have some holes in the logic, but you can kind of do the mental gymnastics and to kind of make it work for you. But being real about it, John Kramer being the protagonist, I thought was a cool take on it. Usually you have somebody else that is running the show and Jigsaw is just kind of there. But in this one, John is the guy who's the focus of the movie, and I think it worked really well. One thing that really stands out about the character of Jigsaw is that even though he is insane, he has a moral code, and Saw X really expands on that. You can see how he can feel bad for someone or how he will fight for the safety of an innocent life. This is the first Saw movie that really shows this side of John, and I think it works really, really well. The thing is, though, for a movie to work where you cheer for Jigsaw, you need to find people that are way worse than he is, and they definitely did that. Let's be honest here. When Jigsaw is picking people to be in his traps, there's a pretty big variety. Like, you can have people that have been embezzling money to dirty cops, or people like in Saw 3D at the beginning that's just a love triangle and he's making them decide who they want to be with. But the people in the traps in this movie are some terrible human beings. They're scamming terminally ill people. I've never wanted people to fail Jigsaw traps more than watching this movie. But some people are more involved than others. There is a more complex side to it, and you cheer for some more than others. Now, this movie had a lot more build-up than the other Saw movies. It takes its time getting into the actual traps and everything, and it really does a great job of setting up the situation and the betrayal that John experiences. They really want you to understand why he is doing what he is doing and root for him. It's not set up the same as the other Saw movies, but if you aren't a big fan of the Saw movies, then this movie probably isn't going to win you over. If you are a big fan of Saw, then you will have a good time with this movie. Now, the Saw movies for me have never really been my favorite movies, but there are some things that are done in them that can be good. All of those things that were done well in the original Saw movies are present in this movie. It's actually a nice breath of fresh air to actually have a Saw movie that is actually a good movie, especially a 10th installment in a franchise. I don't think I ever would have thought that I would be watching a 10th film in a slasher franchise that is actually a good movie. Saw X was actually a super solid film. Overall, I had a pretty good time with this movie. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. So, Saw X, have you guys seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely would recommend it. It's not for everyone, but if you are a fan of the horror franchise or the horror genre, then you will have a good time with this movie.